Hey guys, this is Rob speaking, and today we are back into making the Countess run simulator, and we are exactly 30 hours into the project. Looking really good so far. I mean, last time we hooked up the repetitions mode and did some quick test analysis of if our modes work, and they do. They do. The cubing works, and it's all awesome. And let me just show you where we currently are. So we have both modes working. And if we go in here and say that we do require a file rune, and we do want to have an ist rune as well. And those two are missing in our collection, let's say. And we can just try to run it as quickly as possible and simulate it through. And yes, this bar is still a little not limited and useless, but we are already getting our average runs needed for accomplishing that task we have set. And today's episode, I think we have to look at this lower box, because as soon as this one is done, this UI should be ungrayed. Well, there's nothing on there yet, but it should become activated, and you should be able to switch between the average and the mean. Do we need to have that data? Do we need to have all that data for the mean case as well? I think the only thing that needs to be switched out is this stat, really. But there are many small things we need to fix this episode, I think. And why not start with something really simple? And that would be using the average time times 1.5 or something. Average number of runs times 1.5 as an upper limit here, and then cap the upper limit for this bar. And then not have the out of 100, but rather show that number there. So we'll make a... No, we don't even have to show this number. This divided by 100. This per X runs. That is something for the number of runs mode, really. And okay, let's see what this one looks like. If we go down, simulate. This is in hell mode. Runs. Yeah, here it makes per... Oh. We have destroyed this one. We have destroyed this mode. Oh shit. Oh shit. Why is it doing that? Number of runs. Stop. It's broken. And just to make sure, I think this is a bug that comes from the fact that we switched back and tried to run it again without actually quitting. So, let me just check if that is indeed the case, or if we've actually destroyed our number of runs mode. So simulate that, and it goes into repetitions. Interesting. Very interesting. Huh. I think the problem could lie in the actual function for the simulate button. Maybe we are copying over shitty data there. Let's see what happens. Simulation mode 1 and 2. Ah, yeah, there we go. There we go. That can't work, Rob. Why is this the same? Repetitions, it needs to be result runs. There, this room. Alright, which one is which? Here it says it. Past me, thank you very much. I commented properly. So, now it should work. Let's see. No changes apart from just changing the room number. Yep, all working. Ah, we found a ballroom. Well, this was pretty poor, wasn't it? So now that this problem is out of the way, let's get to what we actually wanted to do, and that is, in the repetitions mode, fix the progress bar for the number of runs. Okay, very, very simple thing I'm going to do here is I'm not going to display the per X number of runs thing, but rather what I'm going to do is just show the pure number of runs, and on the scaling of the bar itself will be compared to 1.5 times the average, the current average number of runs. And if that one is 0 still, so for the first iteration, then the fraction will just be set to 0 for the whole duration of that run. Or maybe... Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think that's fair because there's no kind of benchmark we have at that point. We could set it to... No, we leave it at that. We could have a function here which scales it straight up to 100. Actually, that might be better. 100 runs. So the only thing left to do then is to limit the display of that bar so that it doesn't go off into the wilderness and finds Pokemon and shit. So here we have that scaling. And what do I need to change there? I think I just need to have a math max function, whatever it's called in here. Probably just max or something. And limit it to, well, this value, just limit it to 1 as a maximum. Alright, that should actually work. It's not max, of course. I always get them wrong. Until I see it, and then it's like, the Robert is stupid again. Yes. So minimum, it takes the smaller value of these. Either it is the value or 1. So that should save us from running off the scale. Let's have a quick go at it if we have now solved that issue entirely. I think we have. Alright, let's go for something crazy, like a ghoul rune. And do 50 repetitions, 1 frame. You can always abort. And there's hell difficulty and simulate. Yes. Now let's see what happens. Run. Ah, yep, perfect. Okay. And it crashes. Okay, why does it crash? Because we're using this new variable before it actually has been calculated. So I have to use... I think I know where it is. I have to say if it's 0 or 1, then, or smaller than 2 rather, then use the 100, because at that point it has not been calculated yet. Maybe it works like this. Maybe I'm just missing something completely crazy simple and just not getting it. Let's do this same thing again. We do want our ghoul rune. There we have it. And go slow. 50. There we have it. So, let's see what happens. No, it crashes instantly. Oh. I have it the wrong way. Oh my god. Isn't that a good start to the episode? Killer failing miserably. I have the sign in the wrong way. Okay, I bought this shit. Has to be larger. Like this. Okay. So, we're running. Will it crash this time? Yes, it will. Okay, so that wasn't a problem. I need to investigate. Yeah, it was crashing because it was not using the data manager object as a point of reference. So it tried to make a new variable, which of course is 0 or something, and then divides by it, and that doesn't result in good things if it's on that sign, on that side of being divided by. That wasn't even the issue though. But yeah, so was just this object missing here, and we went back to the unequal 0 because anything else doesn't make any sense. And now, get her up, come on. Simple little bug needs to be fixed. So here we go. Is it crashing? And nope, it isn't crashing. And now it is working. Yes, yes, okay, good. Average runs 300, so this would be a range to 450. Okay, 309 now. So oh, it found it early. Right. Another early one. Yeah, very nice. Oh, this is working. Okay, I'm happy with this. We don't need anything more fancy than this. I think. Now for the sim timer, because that one is hilariously bad. It just counts the number of frames and divides them by 100 right now. So that's trash. We need to make this a bit more fancy. There are proper timing functions in this, of course. Let's get into that. I think it is as simple as this. So let's take a look. When the UI countdown timer reaches 1, so that's 1/100th of a second before we actually start. I just misused that so that I don't have to have extra logic, which confuses little Killrob. Then we start our timer, or we get a timer, a system timer, and save that in the variable sim start time. And actually we could subtract or add to that. We could add to that 1 frame length, which is 100th of a second. So let's do that. That is in microseconds, 10,000. Is that correct? 10,000? Yeah, probably correct. Something there. 1,000 would be 1,000 frames per second. 10 microseconds would be 100 frames per second. Yes. Okay, so plus 10,000. That should be correct because that is in the future. It's a higher timer. Get the timer. And then we have the current sim time saved here as get timer. And then we just subtract them and divide by, what was that? 1 million, because that's in microseconds. Okay, maybe that works? Let's see if the somewhat correct numbers come out of this. Okay, sim time is going. Oh, yeah, that looks much more accurate. Much more accurate. And it's no longer locked in step with these. Yeah, oh, this is pretty much spot on, I would say. Very good. So, fixed. Okay, then there was another little thing. A little improvement suggestion that was in the comments, which I think is reasonable. That is some way to mass activate these cubing check marks or not. And that could be done by a simple right click. And that would activate or deactivate one whole column, depending on what is currently chosen. So if it's activated and I right click, all would be deactivated, and vice versa if they are not activated. Horrendous button logic for this shit. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, so now I have the right click in here somewhere. Where is it? If it is right clicked, yes. Then we set right click to false. And then we check what mode it is in, if it is allowed, and if it is currently activated or not. If it is activated, then we want to deactivate them all, but we have to check which variable this thing was triggered in. So what I'm... Oh, wait a second. Wait a second, this wouldn't work. This wouldn't work. Index. I need to put the index in here. 1 sec. Okay, so now the index is in there. Then I'm going to do a for loop for that column and set all these indices to what that one checkmark would have been set to. And it's looking like this, and I have one for the other case as well, where we want to switch them off. Let's see if that works. A lot of copy pasta. You know what happens with copy pasta. Sometimes you get some shit sauce on top. So, oh, okay, it's the wrong mode, but it's kind of working. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, doesn't do it for the last one. Why did I forget about it? Okay, just a little index mistake here, which was prohibiting us from switching on and off the last rune, number 32. And, well, that's not the last rune, but the last rune that you can switch. So this should now work. I also selected a different image to display, image 1 instead of image 2, which would be the hot one, which makes perfect sense when you're clicking individually, because then you're still on hover, right? But if you're clicking, you're clicking like this. I think my right mouse button is currently starting to break. It's misbehaving. But yeah, this is working. So let's see if it actually properly works. Like none are selected, 1 repetition, and we need one of these. Here we go. Come on, do all the runs. Good. Yes, that is working. We're not cubing anything. Now the next little addition. I think I do want to have a new color. Maybe a little splash of greenish things. Although, that might actually go against the UI. I would like to somehow indicate when we have found the enough runes, the ones we were actually looking for. Sorry, a little hiccup there. The ones we were actually looking for. So that could be done by giving it a slightly different color. We already use white though, which is the brightest. So what color do we want then? I don't know. Maybe that's a little too irrelevant in the whole picture. It's going so fast anyway. Unless you are doing a 1 repetition run and looking for certain runes, you will never really see it anyway. But okay, what more can we do here? So we have this going for us. This is all working. Yes, it is. Very good. Even deactivating all of them. And it stays. Yeah, it does. Very good. So next up, I think, is the field down here. When we simulate. Simulate 1 rune. Come on. This one. Yes. We do want to show something down here. The confidence stuff. And for that to happen, I need to record this data in a bit of a different way, because I don't want to write my own sorting algorithm. I would love it to be like a quick sort or something. But I'm not really inclined to do so. So why not make use of the sorting algorithm that is already in the in GameMaker language? And I don't know what type of sorting algorithm that is, but I assume it would be fast enough, would be generic enough to be sorting our stuff. So what we need in order to access this is some kind of DS list or something, I believe. Let me check that out. Oh, I see. That is... I've never used these lists or grids, even though I do a lot of data stuff, and that is because I'm straight from C++, and that means that I use arrays for everything. And yeah, okay, DS list. So it looks like I have to first create a DS list, and then I can add elements to it with an add function. So let me first create it, and it would basically hold the exact same data as our number of runs. But I'm not going to switch it all up to be DS list. Just double it up. Be inefficient, because I don't care. We have this. The other stuff is running as intended, so I'm not going to switch that. Does it just work like this? You make a variable and it's the DS list? I guess it is. Let's copy that one over and put it in here, and then we add the number. Is that how it works? Where do I see that? Oh yeah, ID and value. I assume that is that. Let's see if they want any parameter. No, it's just empty. Okay, cool. And here we then put in the same value as we put into our array. So that's all good, which would be this one. Okay, so once the repetitions left to do is equal to 0, we go in here and sort our DS list in ascending order. So the lowest index will have the lowest element. I think, the lowest value. That's how I interpret it. If it's not, and we just switch it around to false, and it will be correct. So far so good. We have sorted our sorting out, and that's great. Now I need to actually think about what to do with these numbers. Ah, okay, cool. It does have a function which will be useful to us. DS list find value. So that returns the value at a certain position. So what we would need to do for the confidence thing is, just the mean value would be return the value at the center position of the list, right? That is the 50% mark, and that is exactly the value you're looking for in the mean. But if we want to change the confidence, then, and we set it, for instance, to 75% sure that we will have everything by then we can look for the 75% position in that list, and that returns the value of the run value to us, and that will be our value we're looking for. That sounds pretty nifty. Okay, I think that's it. That's the mean number of runs. And then, well, this is not hooked up to any UI yet, but so what I'm doing here is just to sort the list first. Then I get the size of the list, how many elements it has. And then the mean runs would be to find the value at 0.5 times the list size, and that is the ceiling of that value. So like a 2.2 would be a 3. It's like rounding up. And that should give us the mean runs. Huh. I thought this would be a lot harder. But I mean, I haven't tried it out yet, so maybe this is all fucked up and doesn't actually work. But I'm quite confident that this will indeed work. I asked Deckard Cain. Yeah, and that was a quick test, if it crashes or not. The answer is no, it doesn't crash, and it did go through that little if statement here. Because it has to. Otherwise it would continue to run. So that seems to work. The data seems to be there. So how do we build this UI? Well, just the normal way, I would say. I just copy-pasted over a few buttons from the existing UI in setup, in the setup object, and renamed them as confidence mode plus minus and confidence plus minus. And now we just in air quotes, in big air quotes, just need the button logic for it. Oh wow, that took a while. But there's, as always, quite a bit of button logic to do. Fortunately, the mode switcher is super simple. Just resetting the clicked flag and then switching to the other mode, independent of which one was clicked. So that's easy. But for the plus minus button, we have the standard logic, checking what kind of state the button is in, and then setting it to the other state once we run into the limits of the selection. We are going to have selection of the confidence with steps of 0.95. But also, oh shit, in addition I need to check which confidence mode we are in. Because if we are in mode 1, that was correct, right? In mode 1? Didn't I? I think I did. And I think I commented here somewhere. Yes. Okay, so average is 0 and mean is mode 1. Cool. So if we are in mode 1, then these buttons need to be activated. And if we are in mode 0, they need to be deactivated. Ah, that's some additional logic in here. Okay, cool. Let me do that. Very conditional switching on of the buttons now. I think this is correct. So we check if we are going to the other mode, confidence mode with 0, then we switch the plus minus buttons for the confidence off. And if we are switching the confidence stuff on for the mean, then we check if the confidence is larger than 0. If that is the case, we switch on the minus button. And if the confidence is smaller than 1, we switch on the plus button. That should be all, I think. Now we're almost there. Almost. Let's get to the draw event and actually put in the title, the confidence thingy. I did take a screenshot in InDesign, and it's so stupid that I can't have it open at the same time. But yeah, so we do want to have the title there, and then the buttons down here. Alright. Yes, that should be simple enough. So confidence is in the same text size as the repetitions on the bar. Okay, I have a font for that. That's good. And then these are the standard title size. Okay, good to know. Okay, so what do we have here now? I have added... Where are they? Nothing there. Right, I didn't edit anything there. Here, right. Oh, it's all here. Font size numbers. No, here it is. In the bar size. Bar text size. Confidence. Just slapped it on there somewhere. That might be a little too tight. Let's put it at 660 to start with. So confidence, it says. Confidently, it says confidence. Then I have my plus minus buttons already positioned, if I remember correctly. And then we have, if the confidence mode is 0, which means it's we're looking at averages, then it just displays average. And if that is not the case, it displays mean. And if confidence mode is 0, so the average mode, then the confidence number that is chosen is grayed out, just like the plus and minus button. And otherwise, it is not grayed out, it is text color white. So these will be all jumbled now, because the positioning is shit, but let's see if it actually works. There was a lot of code and logic being written now without any kind of checking if it actually works. Oh, here we go, repetitions, whatever, 50, yes, 5. And we have all the cubing, and we want 2. Okay, they are all mushed together down there. But there is a 50 there, so that's good. This needs to be moved up a lot. Yeah, let me handle that and just try to move it into the right positions. Okay, here we have it. Well, it's not perfect. It's just about-ish, approximately in the right place now, so that we can test it out. So confidence is set to average, and I can switch it to mean. Nothing changes up there because I haven't hooked that in yet. But, oh no, it switches to some kind of weird decimal shit. I need to format the output there. Oh, weird. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's probably because it is a float being added, and then it has some inaccuracies because of that. So there's something like way down the line, 0000000 1 2 3 or something. So that's weird. But yeah, I need to round that number to a full percentage. But this is working. Minus button switching off. And the plus button switching off. Very good. And it's grayed out once we switch the mode. Cool. And there we have it. The final step, I think. Well, I spotted other things to do, and that's pretty big things too. But this might be what now is ready to be displayed. I have no clue if that is actually it, so it's getting a little late, as you see, so my mind isn't quite as quick as it was at 9 o'clock this morning. But if we go to 1 repetition and just add some junk. Okay, so runs undefined. Interesting. Interesting that it actually doesn't error because of that. So, what happened there? We only had 1 repetition in there. So if that gets rounded, maybe, then it was rounded up. And that addressed an element which didn't actually exist. So there's only, in this list, there's only 1 element, and that's the 0th element. And we go in there and check, oh yeah, list size is 1. Then we, yeah, okay, that is, yeah, let's see, ceiling. Right, we're not rounding that. No, I think the ceiling is correct. We just need to max or min that with the list size. Or rather, list size minus 1. Yeah, classic array mistake. Is this correct? Oh, come on. What? List size. Oh, seal. Yes. That one. Oh, no, that doesn't work. Now, okay. Yeah, there was a parenthesis missing. Easy peasy. Let's see if this works. Yes. Okay, it took 29 runs, and now it's showing 29 runs. Beautiful. Of course. Wait a second. That's mean. Oh no, undefined. No. No. Ah, damn it. I need to dig into this. Oh, this is looking good. Apart from this one. It's not looking good. But look at that. It's working. It's working. 30%, 25% chance to get what we needed. Whatever it was. Can't remember. Oh, maybe that should be visible somehow? Yeah, that should be visible somehow. At least on the final screen. Maybe I do need a different color then. But yeah, as you can see, it is working. 35% sure, 14 runs. 15% sure, 8 runs. 5 runs, and the absolute minimum we had it in was 3 runs. And on the other end goes up to like, 75% sure, 33 runs, and 95% sure, 55 runs. Ooh. Okay, so this mode is working, but, well, the text here up here doesn't change, and these values need to be stored as well. Well, not the sim time, but those 4. Very important. Yeah, I solved it. It's definitely something that starts at 0 and ends at size minus 1. So, yeah, it was just a matter of displaying the correct thing. So now let's see if the test case of 1 also works. I'm also destroying the... yeah, that didn't work. Simple as I was in the data manager and not in the actual UI manager. Coolies. So, what is left to do in... or what is coming up in the next episode? Okay, so what we need to do is get this all working for this data as well. Very important, because you need to know how much time it will take you at a certain confidence level. And average runtime, average cubings, and all that good jazz. All of these things you want to know. And because of that, we need to switch around how we are doing this list thing to a grid thing. Because we need to be able to sort by index of a certain column. Otherwise the data gets jumbled, and that is not good. So that will be the main thing for next episode, and then it's just bug hunting and cleanup and a bit of polishing. Still a few things left to do. That's yeah, like switching out the texts and maybe highlighting which runes you were actually seeking, and maybe some more sounds or even music. Or yeah, still plenty to do. I think we can easily fill a full episode with just a polish. And another episode of fixing this stuff up so that it actually works, and do a few simulations to see if it's working as intended and if it's actually useful. Okay, I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.